think that the first and foremost and the most basic value
I don't have time to
out
think.
of any
I'll just only know
community
how to
that
fix
do not
what's
rely
next.
on
I feel
social
that
workers to
I
actually
need
tackle
help.
Social workers need more community support. And
You
as
need to
well as,
help the
for
parents,
public
you need to
gain
help the
more
families.
insights.
You know
You
what?
also
We
need
make
to
do.
show them that
We'll
you're not
figure out a
going to
way.
fix sure that
Because it's
The
always
society
going
is
to
the
be
one
there.
that makes a
But I
person
don't think it
disabled,
should be that hard.
not the person having the condition.
Understand my
If
situation,
you're able to look past a person.
be my friend.
At 3 years old, he was diagnosed with autism. I'm taking care of my 3 seniors. 2 of them was actually having stroke. Although full-time taking care, I also have to work part-time to support my families.
Is there something wrong with me? Why am I short? Why do people view me in a different way? I guess at times I felt worthless.
My family has never been living very high above water. I was leading my life literally day after day, as my family usually does. Our finances were so bad. We were in the red of everything.
when my mother and I had to navigate through how to care for someone with Down syndrome. It was definitely tough. A sister with Down syndrome, raising the awareness of what is Down syndrome, what are such special needs about, and also what we can do to provide support to them practically.
Sometimes when we don't understand what he needs, he will start crying, start screaming, and there was even one time my neighbor had to call the police because they think that I abused him.
One fine day, my mother and I noticed that my sister came home from her workplace with a bruise on her hand that was being inflicted by her management. This whole episode has left my mother and I rather scarred.
If I'm working with a salary more than a certain criteria, I won't get help. I saw that seniors who are staying in the 2-room flats, they will get help automatically. But for those who stay in a 3-room flat, like me, taking care of my senior, and then we are not taken care unless we approach.
Some social workers, they're very straight to the point. You're there to show them that this is the way. I can support you to a certain extent. I can show you what you need to do. I can give you ways on how you can get certain things, but you need to be the one that's pushing it up.
When people look at having to need the government's help, it was like you have to be on the end of the spectrum.
The government parks them as middle income or mid-status Singaporeans. Father, mother earns relatively enough. So the income divided by the number of people living in the family doesn't add up.
What we have been doing wrong, I think we have become a very template nation. We think so there's poor people, so then there's certain support that we think that can fit every household.
There's so much complications and so much depth in each person's problem, and I feel like all they want to be able to do is to stereotype, okay, you fit into this mold, and then you fit into that mold.
I think a better Singapore would be an inclusive society, a society that keeps a lookout for one another. You can just perhaps start with your neighbor. You don't have to look far. When was the last time you actually spoke to your neighbor and say hi? When was the last time that you actually asked, how is your family coping?
I am actually quite happy that there are a lot of ground-up initiatives that are being formed. These initiatives, they are formed to be able to amplify the help of what the social service sector is actually lacking in, to, let's say, give out food to the residents around the community, or even for people to host, let's say, homeless people in their homes.
The government has done very well in promoting an inclusive environment. I believe that there are so many accommodations and structures put in place.
I think the Purple Parade is great. It really does a great job of trying to help people understand better, and also really celebrating people with different abilities. If you look at the physical arrangements, there's a lot of barriers that have been lifted, ramps and all your slopes and all your railings and all the protective tiles as well for people who are visually impaired.
Learning doesn't take place only within our classrooms or within our books. I urge policymakers to actually be on the ground, speak to these people, instead of just giving handouts. Start journeying it with them.
They can do better by putting up posters and maybe let you know there's such a service, and not wait until the social worker come to your house to do a family visit, then let you know about it.
Special needs child can have a smaller group size and then also have a chance to socialize with other peers.
The society that I really want to work towards is one that you don't need the government or you don't need NGOs to really keep on pushing for it. Everyone rightly accepts and they're aware of. When that happens, then I think it shows that we as a society have matured and we are ready to really be inclusive and integrated.
I would like the future Singapore to be a society that can accept special need kids and adults.
As a collective whole, we all need to put in the effort to learn to understand each other better.
Be more open, be more accepting.
As a society and as a community, we also need to be proactive to really work with the government on this and not just let them take charge.